Everyone, let's get started. Dear parents, partners, family members, INSEAD faculty, alumni, staff, and participants, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the INSEAD Global Executive MBA class of 2015. Woo! Thank you all for coming to help us mark this very special day for our participants. I'm Urs Peyer, the EMBA Dean. I'm joined here on stage by Ilian Mihoff, Dean of INSEAD, and our graduation speaker, Ashal Agarwal, President of Kimberly-Clark Asia PAC. Please help me welcome them. Dear GEMBA 15s, today we celebrate your achievement of completing a unique and special program, the INSEAD Global Executive MBA. Just 14 to 18 months ago, we opened the program, a program that brings together a diverse and globally minded talent pool. And we focused on three things. We focused on academic learning, we focused on building friendships and networks, and we focused on leadership. Let me start with learning, and this is to assure your parents, friends, spouses, and other financiers that you have done a lot. INSEAD's GEMBA program is the most intense eMBA program in the world, so it's not surprising that one of our faculty, Pascal Manhout, calls it the extreme MBA program. Remember, we made you take exams to prove to yourself and to us that you've mastered the 13 core subjects of the Masters in Business Administration. Today, we're here to celebrate that achievement as well. The learning has continued in the electives and in the key management challenges up until yesterday. Even this week, you were challenged with injuries in the factories, employees on strikes, unhappy customers, demanding financiers, as you were reacting to these business challenges during the simulation, which we call the first 100 days. But the line between simulation and reality is very thin, blurry, right? So I remember Monday to Tuesday night, those of you who stayed in the residence, there was a fire alarm. And you came out of your hotel rooms, and you were looking left and right and saying, is this real or is this part of the first 100 days? So it is clearly that you were engaged, even these last 3 days, in these courses, and that makes your class very, very special. Your dedication, your devotion to each other and to the success and learning of the MBA program. So I would also say that, the first 100 days is something that finds practical application. We had a year ago an alumni event where one of your GEMBA peers, Klaus, was talking about his challenges, and he was in charge of building a new factory in India. And before the day before the opening, the factory crumbled. And so he had to deal with a real challenge. And what surprised me is, everyone asked, so what happened to your job? And they said, oh, I kept it. Why? Because of my network, because I've built trust in my organization that I could survive in an organizational sense such a catastrophe. And I think you guys have done a lot of the networking among yourselves here at INSEAD. You've built a true family. When we met each other 14 to 18 months ago in the 3 different starting locations and you were there looking around, what did you see when you looked around? A lot of diverse set of strangers. You remember those anxious moments? How did I fit in? Why am I here? Wow, what they have done, it's amazing. But you do fit in. All of you have formed friendships networks, partnerships for life. And I congratulate you on that. Not only have you found friends in your own starting cohort, by now I can't tell who's who and where they started. You've become a really big family of the GEMBA 15. And that is here really important, what you have achieved and you've contributed to melting together and becoming a big family. And I'm sure you'll go and celebrate together, have parties, become godmothers and godfathers of your friends' kids, and you will be there to celebrate each other's successes professionally as well. But I also know you'll be there for each other in less glorious moments, and you've already shown a great devotion to each other during the program in the harder times. So the bonds that you have established here at INSEAD, naturally, they do require continued work. Many of you have asked, so what happens now that INSEAD doesn't provide the structure anymore? What does INSEAD deliver in terms of networking value? And I said, well, this is not, it's up to you. And I'd like to give a little analogy as to what I think about what happens to you and what you expect using an apple tree. Okay, so my wife is a biologist, that's why. The apple tree, what is it? If you want to come and pick an apple, you want to benefit from a network, someone else will have to provide the sunshine, the rain, and the bees. You have to contribute. If someone else wants to pick an apple, you have to be the sunshine, the water, or the bees. Now, not everyone can be bees, remember? But you have to contribute if you want to participate, if you want to benefit. And it's a give and take. And I think this is what makes the alumni network of INSEAD really strong. We give and we take when we need it and when we can contribute. And I hope that going forward, you are participating in this very caring network that makes the INSEAD family so strong. So what is it that melted you together? Let me give you a few examples what I think has happened. And the first thing is certainly you. You as a group, your willingness to be open to new ideas, to new cultures. That was very important. The second one is also this leadership development journey that you have engaged with. And together with our OB professors and Vincent Dominé and his team of coaches, they have posed challenges to you. And your LDP groups have helped you solve those challenges, overcome them, find solutions. And those challenges have led to deep insights, and I think have helped you grow. And just a few minutes ago outside, I have found some evidence of this when one of the partners was saying, yes, he has changed. Thank you. So apparently, it was felt at home too. So, and the third one is we have a very carefully designed program. Not everyone did see the sequence very clearly at the beginning. You remember some emails going around in the middle. But I would like to take the opportunity to give a special thank you to the staff, the professors, the coaches who facilitated this interactions. Please give a round of applause to them. Let me end with my wishes for you. I truly hope that each and every one of you today is graduating, being richer in knowledge, ready to make a positive impact in the companies and the people that you work with, but also being richer in friendships from around the globe. Please keep both for life. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce Ilian Mihov, our first speaker, Dean of INSEAD. Ilian has joined INSEAD in 1996 as a professor in economics, and his research in macroeconomics and growth are a perfect match with the ambition of INSEAD as the business school for the world. As an academic, he has been on a frequent guest on CNBC Squawk Box during the financial crisis, discussing macroeconomic policies around the world. Ilian has started his distinguished academic career receiving not one but two fellowships at Princeton for his PhD. The second one was specifically to collaborate with Ben Bernanke, the former Federal Reserve chairman. Together they've published 4 papers, and one of which was on the Great Depression area. At INSEAD, Ilian has been teaching the macroeconomic core course, and between 2006 and 2009 he won 3 of the 4 times the core Best Teaching Award, and he's also been nominated for Best Teaching Award in the EMBA. A less well-known fact is that Ilian was also nominated to be the Deputy Prime Minister of Bulgaria, which he turned down, fortunately. Please help me welcome INSEAD's first Dean based in Asia, Ilian Mihov. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Urs, for this kind introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an amazing class. I had the privilege also to teach the European section of this class. When I was starting my deanship about 2 years ago, I had to write a speech for the graduation of the MBA, EMBA classes. You know, I talked to one of my former colleagues and I asked, what should I say? And he said, you know what, nobody will remember what you're saying anyway, just don't say something stupid. So that's not a very high bar, well, maybe it is, I don't know. And then I remembered that indeed sometimes people don't remember what I say. I hope that you remember what I was saying in the macro class. But it reminded me of an episode I had when I was teaching the MBAs. So we have 2 promotions, July class and December class. And in January, February, I was teaching the July class, 4 sections of 70 students, so 280 students. I make the point of remembering each and every one of them by the 4th session. I know their names, I know where they're from, and so on. And of course, I expect that they'll remember me, standing in front of them. Well, actually, this expectation is not always met. So I start teaching 4 sections, 90 minutes each section. I stand in front of the class. Those who have seen me, you know that I jump up and down, so very animated. The next day after my first class, I go to INSEAD, go in the elevator, I see one of my students who was sitting on the front row the day before. And I said, hi. He said, hello. Then I asked him, how are you? He said, I'm fine, how are you? I said, I'm okay. Then he turned to me and he said, are you from the July or the December promotion? Now, this is very kind, but at the same time, you realize that after 90 minutes, obviously, the guy could not even recognize me. So I don't have very high expectations for speeches like this one. But still, dear students, family, friends, alumni, INSEAD staff and faculty, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this ceremony for the graduation of the EMBA class of 2015. I would like to welcome also the INSEAD members of the INSEAD community, friends of INSEAD, and especially our guest of honor, Achal Argaval, President of Kimberly-Clark for Asia Pacific. I want to extend very special welcome to the families, the partners, the parents of the graduating students. It is fair to say that today we celebrate your achievements, but also theirs, because we know that INSEAD is not an easy journey. It's a pleasant journey sometimes, but also it's a difficult one. And their support, psychological, emotional, financial, I think it has been very important. INSEAD is a unique place with a lot of great classroom experience, with a lot of great experience outside of the classroom, but also it can be a very challenging place. Please join me in thanking them for their patience in the last 18 months. So I want to start first a little bit about INSEAD, because maybe you know by now the history of INSEAD, but our guests are not that familiar. INSEAD is a unique place. It was started in 1959 in Fontainebleau in France by a professor from Harvard Business School, Georges Doriot. Georges Doriot had a great idea of bringing management education to Europe, but more importantly, he viewed INSEAD as a place that will bring peace and prosperity to Europe. He thought that instead of fighting with each other, the Brits, the Germans, the French, the rest of the Europeans should get together in an international business school and try to build businesses together. Today, INSEAD still upholds this vision. We are a truly international business school where we bring people from more than 80 nationalities throughout our programs. And by doing this, we hope that together you'll be able to build businesses, but also by doing this, you'll be promoting understanding and peace and prosperity around the world. Now, I think that when you look at INSEAD, in the last 55 years, amazing things have happened. The school started from literally nothing, without a classroom, without a campus, without professors, with only 53 students, trying to figure out who will come to teach these students. And today, we're the largest business school in the world. We graduate 1,000 MBAs every year. We have this spectacular EMBA program with more than 200 people graduating. Then we have executive education with 12,000 participants. We are truly international because we have more than 80 nationalities on campus. Diversity is very important for us because diversity is not only a nice thing to have, but it is a way to understand each other better, and it is a way to be more creative and more innovative. INSEAD has created a lot of things in the last 55 years, and I think that today when you look around, there is no other school that has 3 campuses, fully integrated, where you can go to Fontainebleau, Abu Dhabi, Singapore, and you can have the same quality of education as in the other campus. I think that today we're celebrating these achievements, and we're very proud that where INSEAD has reached has happened with a lot of entrepreneurial spirit, with a lot of pride and honesty. I think that today I want to thank you for contributing to this success. INSEAD is where it is today because people like you deciding to come and share your journey with us. Today, obviously, we'll celebrate your achievements, and I know, I've talked to some of you, you're very sad that you will be separating from your friends, but at the same time, I think that this is not the end. This is actually the beginning. Our alumni network is completely unparalleled. There is nothing like an INSEAD alumni network out there. We have alumni in 173 countries, and with critical mass, more than 100 people, more than 100 alumni per country, there is no other business school that has more countries on their list. Anywhere you go, there'll be INSEAD alumni. It is an amazing network of more than 50,000 people. And if you look at the achievements of our alumni, they're outstanding. Not only that we are number 2 in Financial Times in number of CEOs in the top FT 500 companies, but also our alumni are very entrepreneurial. We're the only non-US business school in the top 10 in terms of companies funded by venture capital firms. Our alumni in the last 5 years have raised more than $2 billion, which is more than the next 9 European schools put together. So the school has been very successful in attracting very talented people and helping them develop. In fact, when people ask me in the very beginning, what was your biggest surprise as a dean of INSEAD when you started? And I would say it's the alumni network, because this is something as a professor that you don't see. I used to teach a lot in the MBA program. I stopped in 2009. I still teach the EMBA. But when you're teaching in the classroom, especially the MBAs, you go in the classroom and they're 29-year-old, and every year they're 29-year-old, and it's very frustrating because you're not 29-year-old. And they come, you have a great time, and then they go away. And you don't know what is happening to them. I encourage you to go and explore this network, because this network will be part of your life. You're very fortunate to enter this powerful network. And my goal as a Dean of INSEAD in the next few years is actually to bring this community together, to build something which I think it will be unbeatable. With this network, with the school, with the intellectual capacity of our professors, with the staff, with the students that we have, if we can connect and we can build one community, we'll be completely unstoppable. I'm very optimistic because in the past 2 years, I have traveled around the world meeting with alumni, and there is no words to describe the enthusiasm that you see out there. You go, you talk to people who graduated in 1960, 1965, 2000, 2005. Everybody has very fond memories of the school. In fact, in 1963, I met a guy who actually was graduated in 1963 as my first alumni reunion in October 2013. I was sitting next to him at the lunch table, and I asked him, why did you decide to come to INSEAD? Today we have all the rankings, we have all the advertising, all these things out there. He's from Austria. His eyes actually brightened up and he said, you know what? It was really amazing to hear about this school somewhere in France where people get together from all over Europe to work together and build things together. And he said, this was the best year in my life. Now, I was thinking the guy's, about 70, I guess, and probably he's very nostalgic about, his young years. That's why he's saying that was the best year in my life. But then last year I was landing in Zurich, and there was this guy running after me saying, are you the Dean of INSEAD? I looked at myself, jeans, T-shirt. I said, what gave it away? It's not written anywhere. He said, no, actually, I'm a student at INSEAD. I'm graduating in 2 months. And I asked him, so what do you think? Is there a problem? Is there something you want to complain about? And he said, no, actually, it is the best year in my life. I hope that for you as well, one day you'll be recognizing, maybe it's not the best, but it's an amazing year in your life. And in 2065, when you come for your 50th reunion, you'll be able to say, wow, when I was at INSEAD GEMBA, I had an amazing year, and it was one of the best years in my life. This INSEAD is your brand. From now on, you have to call this school your own. And I'll try to do my best to make sure that you say with pride, I did my EMBA at INSEAD. I want to finish with something which some of you have heard before, but I think it is important that all of you hear it, as well as our guests. In the past few years, there has been a lot of discussion on the value of MBA, the value of business schools, and businesses in general, where they create value or whether they destroy value. Now, I think that for us it is very important to ask ourselves this question. Why are we here? What do we do? Why does INSEAD exist? And this is a question about our mission. And I think that our mission has to be based on the understanding that business is a force for good. Business as a force for good is understood by many people in many different ways. But my understanding starts with very simple macroeconomic data. In 1980 in China, there were 840 million people who lived below the extreme poverty line of $1.25 a day. 85% of the population was in extreme poverty. Today, 35 years later, there are less than 150 million people. Over a period of 35 years, a miracle has happened. This has never happened in the history of the world. More than 1.2 billion people globally have been lifted out of poverty. And this miracle has happened not because of government aid, not because of philanthropic giving, not because of foreign developmental aid from the IMF or the World Bank, but because of one thing, economic growth. And in the long run, the only engine of economic growth is business creation. If you don't have people creating businesses, starting companies, organizing others to work, there is no growth. So if we care about reducing poverty in a sustainable way, if we care about eradicating infant mortality and things like this, we need economic growth. And our mission as a business school for the world is to train people like you, to develop people like you, who with your skills, with your knowledge, with your expertise, will go back to your companies and your countries. And by doing this, you will accelerate growth and improve the state of the world. I think that it is very important to recognize that business does create value, but it's also very important to recognize that recently some businesses have not necessarily behaved in a way that is consistent with the goals of the society. So we want to make sure that when people come to INSEAD, we discuss not only how to build your competence, but also we try to help you build your character so that tomorrow, when you're faced with ethical dilemmas, you can reflect on your biases, on your blind spots, and you can make better decisions. Because then, when business is aligned with the goals of the society, you will end up creating not only value for your shareholders, but also value for the society. Now, going forward, I hope that together we'll continue to champion diversity, because diversity is the key to strengthening individuals, institutions, and societies. I also hope that together we'll be promoting peace and prosperity for every individual, every community, and every country. We are very proud that you chose INSEAD to do your executive MBA. We're very proud of our alumni. I have no doubt that in the class of EMBA 2015, there are many, many people who will change the world for the better and will contribute to the prominence of our alumni and also of our school, which from now on you can call your own. Congratulations, thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you very much, Ilian. Now our graduation speaker is Ashal Agarwal. Ashal has over 30 years of experience in leading large, complex businesses, turnaround situations of multicultural environments, and creating scale through market share growth. That sounds like what we needed in the last 3 days, in the first 100 days, right? So he's joined Kimberly-Clark in 2008. Ashal spent a decade before that with Pepsi, and in his address will refer back to the challenges and opportunities in those. Ashal has also external appointments, including serving as a board member of the Singapore International Chamber of Commerce, the advisory board of the Shanghai Chiao Tung University. He has an MBA from the University of Delhi and an AMP from Wharton. Please help me welcome Ashal Agarwal.
Dean Ilian, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and privilege for me to be here to deliver this graduation address. I see it as a big responsibility for me to speak to you at this inflection point in your career and your life. So, to begin with, hearty congratulations to all of you who are graduating today. And first of all, I think you should take a moment to just cherish what you've just accomplished and the sacrifices that you and your loved ones have made to make this day happen. You should be very proud. As you look forward to your career as an INSEAD MBA, I thought I would talk about some ideas which have crystallized in the 30 years plus of experience that I've had. I was talking at lunch with Dean Ilian, and he said that the focus of the program is on leadership. And truly, in my mind, it is leadership that is the key. So I will be talking about leadership, and some of these ideas, I did not have these at the early part of my career. They crystallized as I worked. They crystallized as I observed things that worked and didn't work. And you might say that these are the ideas which have come through the practical experience of an operator. So I felt that it might be helpful if I leave a few practical and hopefully inspiring thoughts for you. I've chosen to talk about 3 themes. Number 1, you cannot plan many things, and therefore you should be prepared to seize opportunities when they come. Number 2, how you do things is as important as what you do. And number 3, think of life as constantly building on ideas, building businesses, building people. But always keep in mind that what you're left with eventually are relationships. So let me start with the first, that of seizing opportunities. You can always have a dream of what you want to do or be, and you can plan to have some critical experiences which can get you there. And it's always good to have that basic plan of developing critical experiences. However, as we all know, you're almost guaranteed to have twists and turns along the way. Therefore, very critical for you to reach your full potential is to develop a mindset of taking risks and seizing opportunities when they present themselves. So let me give you a personal example of this, a little story. As was mentioned, I was working with PepsiCo in India in 1997 when the head of China decided to visit. He'd come there to look and learn. And one thing led to another, and a few months later, I was asked whether I would like to go to China in order to set up an operating model for PepsiCo in China. Now, at that time, this is 1997, China was the death knell for any expat in PepsiCo. And so the risk was truly huge. Now, I'm talking 97. And if you think back at 97, China was not known like it is today. In fact, I was to go to Guangzhou, a name I had never heard before. I was looking at guidebooks to figure out what life would be like in China. So I remember talking to my wife, and then, without even the benefit of a pre-visit, we decided we would go to China. Now, you might wonder, why didn't we visit? We didn't visit because we were very clear that it was going to be a very different environment. And nothing that we saw there would dissuade us or, frankly, prepare us. And so what we decided was that it's going to be an adventure, and therefore, let's just commit ourselves to making it work. So we had to be all in and just resolve to, face issues as they came up. So we left for Guangzhou with our 5-year-old daughter, and for the next 10 years, I operated in the PepsiCo China business. And it changed my career and my life completely. At the time that I was trying to make this decision, there was not a single person who was encouraging me to do so. Not that they didn't care about me. In fact, they cared a lot about me. And therefore, they were not wanting me to take the risk. They wanted me to follow the safe path. Fortunately, I'd always had the mindset of wanting to operate in different geographies, cultures, and take on challenges. That attitude helped me to make this very difficult decision. And as I said, it changed my life in a very, very positive and meaningful way. It was the understanding that I must seize opportunities despite the risk that enabled me to make the tough decision. Prior to this too, I'd seized an opportunity which changed my career. I was working with a large multinational chemical company, and after I started working there, I realized that my heart was actually in consumer products. But the tyranny of the resume was between me and a consumer company, because once you gain a certain amount of experience, it disqualifies you from getting into a consumer company. However, an opportunity suddenly came, and this was after 13 years. An opportunity came where PepsiCo was hiring general managers, and they offered me a role. Now, you think of a person who's been working in a chemical company, never operated in a consumer company, 13 years, and it's a big risk for me and for the company, frankly, both. However, I didn't hesitate. The opportunity was perfect, the risks completely irrelevant. We are taught to evaluate risks in business. That is important. But it's also equally important not to let the analysis make us take the safe path every time. So what I would say to you is go for the returns, irrespective of the risk, when you have a game-changing opportunity. So we talked about a game-changing opportunity and grabbing that. I'll move on to the next idea. The second idea is the how is as important as the what. So we spend a lot of time, including when we do our MBA, talking about the what. So if you think about a particular business problem or a situation or an opportunity in a business, is the what very different? So when I look at an opportunity that we have in a company, the decks look all the same. I look at a deck in North America, I look at a deck in Europe, I look at a deck in Asia. They all look the same. You know, this is how you win. It's prescribed, the what. So how come some parts of the corporation are more successful than others? The what's the same. Whether, it's Kimberly-Clark, whether it's PepsiCo, they're models. This is how you win. So the difference is in terms of how it's done and how it's executed. So we can give it different names. We can call it culture, we can call it execution. But the important thing is that the differentiation is not in the what. The differentiation is in the how. In fact, if you think about competitors would have probably the same what. It's not very different, but it is how we execute which is the differentiation. I experience this most when dealing with new things like e-commerce and marketing in a digital world. Being a new field, it's very important for us to understand what's going on and figure it out. But equally, if not more important, is to get started and to get stuff done. And in the process, we will fail too. But unless we get started, we will not know how to move to the next step. And what tends to happen is that we are forced to make changes, check and adjust, and then we are forced to revisit the strategy and actually change the strategy sometimes. So therefore, the bias for action is what is critical. What is not critical is that you figured out everything. So we've been doing that in our operations here, and I believe that speed has made a huge difference and is a significant source of competitive advantage for us. So I've talked of a relatively harder area, right? Like a business area like e-commerce or digital. But it's equally applicable in a softer area. So I'm sure everyone in this room agrees, all INSEAD MBAs, you agree that empowerment is important. Empowering our teams is important. However, the how we do it, how we empower, is critical if we are truly to succeed in terms of making our people feel empowered. And if you think about empowerment deeply, it is about how the person feels. So the what in this is pretty straightforward. The what is a simple decision matrix. You can give authorities, prescribe them at various levels. There you are. You have a matrix for decision making. But does that make people feel empowered? I don't think so. I think that if you have a situation where a person has the right to make a decision, but asks the person still a huge number of questions and take a lot of time, then the person's not going to feel empowered. So the person has the decision-making right, but if it's a big issue, then the supervisors and other people are going to want to be adding value and therefore will ask questions, etc. So one needs to hear everyone, but what's important is not to make this cumbersome and to slow down the process. So speed is what becomes critical, and therefore it boils down to the how and rather than the what of the decision matrix. So coming to the third idea of constantly building things with your team that you can be proud of, and most importantly, thinking about the relationships that develop as you build things that you can be proud of. So if you think about life in that simple way, I believe it leads to clarity of thinking and your spirit to be free. So when I look back at my career occasionally, it gives me great pleasure to think back of all the challenges which we overcame, my team and I, and what we built. And when I run into someone in the past, it's amazing to see how people remember very, very small details about the challenges that we overcome. And you can see the passion in their eyes and their emotion. And it's always a very strong reminder to me about how important it is for people to think back about what they achieved and how they overcame the challenges to achieve it. And the greater the challenge is, the more animated that the person is. So when we look back, we want to make sure that we feel that we spent the time well, that we learned a lot, and that we can be proud of something that we have built. That gives us the foundation to move on and to build more. It doesn't matter how big or small the business that we build. What matters is that we overcame challenges and therefore were able to build it. And what we learned from the experience and the collective feeling of achievement in the team. Also, and very important, is that it's absolutely critical as we build things that we also think of building lasting relationships as we are building the business. It's easy, very easy, to get caught up in the excitement of building the business. But we need to also think about the relationships as we go about doing this. And I think of those relationships as the person rather than helping the person and building the relationship with the person rather than simply building a talent for the organization. So, again, let me tell you a simple story to illustrate this. One of my team members in China, unfortunately, received news that his wife was very ill. So he decided to leave the company to look after her. And after a couple of years, she passed away. I'd been in touch with him during that time. And after she passed away, he came back to work with us. Now, the important thing in the story is about our relationship. He'd left the company, but our relationship transcended the company. It had been built while we were working on the business, but it wasn't transactional, and it wasn't dependent on him being on my team. I think that's the critical thing, to think about relationships as we go about building the business as person-dependent and not simply because the person is working with us in an organization. I think that difference is very important. And trust me, when you do that, the other person knows. and you think about the motivation, you think about the feeling it generates in the other person, in both actually, and it is absolutely magic. I'll give you one more story about a very talented person who reached her full potential. So when I reached China, I had a CFO, and I quickly realized that she had the potential to be a general manager. But she didn't want to be a general manager. And so a lot of persuasion, and to cut a long story short, I finally persuaded her and made her a general manager. And she rose very quickly and went on to become the head of the business. By the time she became the head of the business, I'd already left the company and I was with Kimberly-Clark. I got a text from her telling me about this, and I was absolutely delighted. I was proud of what she had achieved, and again, it's the relationship which had been built, which is transcending the fact that we no longer are even working together. We don't meet very often because we are in different locations. I'm in Singapore, she's in Shanghai. But we both know that we are there for each other. And it's an absolute delight for me to catch up with her occasionally. She was part of my team when we were building our business in China. But the real prize was that the talented individual could reach her full potential, and that I could build a lifelong relationship with her. Cherishing the relationships we nurtured with members of our team is the icing on the cake in what we build together. I could tell you more stories, but the acid test for me is, will the person have coffee with me when I am 65? At 65, I'm not going to be so with it. And there's not a lot of incentive then for anyone to have coffee with me. And the only people who will want to really meet me are those whose lives I've touched in a positive and a meaningful way. So if we think about relationships in this manner, I think then we will truly make that investment and truly care about the individuals who we work with. It's all about touching lives and building relationships that endure time and distance. So in closing, seize the opportunity when it comes. Don't worry about the risks when it's a game-changing opportunity. It's not just the what. Even more important is the how. And go on to build amazing things. But remember to develop lifelong relationships. The world is yours. I wish you all the best as you write the next chapter of your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ashal, for these very inspiring words and deep insights based upon your long experiences, and thank you for sharing them with us today. So, next, we're coming to some academic honors, sort of just to raise the spirits a little bit in between, to get anticipation for the degrees. This is part of our process of academic excellence. We're honoring those who have the top 10% of the GPA of their class. Let me put up the list here, and please ask those of you to stand up and give a round of applause, please. Eunice, William, Philip, Michelle, Helen, Alexander, Yoshito, Lore, Ademino, Ali, Yamin, Eugene, Cecile, Carl Eric, Francois, Paris, Emma, Hisham, Jesper. Congratulations. And for those of you watching at home and from around the world, these are the outstanding graduates with the top 10% of the GPA. Congratulations. Now the Claude Janssen Prize is here to recognize the one participant out of those on the list there who has the absolute highest GPA, and that is to shine among 180 participants. Now, since Claude Janssen can't personally be here, we have a short video from him on introducing the prize. Can we please play
that? Dear graduates, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a great pleasure for me to be addressing again this class of executive MBA graduates on this very important day. As you know, INSEAD was created in around 1960, in fact 59, and I want to say a word about the founder of INSEAD, General Doriot. Some of you, when you were in Fontainebleau, have seen the Doriot Library and the sculpture, which is in the library, of the general, with a sentence that he used to say that the world without action would still be an idea. General Doriot was an extraordinary man. He was a professor at Harvard Business School. He was a general in the US Army, although he was born French. He invented venture capital, and he created INSEAD. That's a very great achievement for a life. Around him, at the time, there were two other Harvard men, graduates of the Harvard Business School, Olivier Giscard d'Estaing and myself. And we've been involved, this was starting in 57, and we've been involved ever since. Olivier was chairman of the INSEAD Foundation until about 2 or 3 years ago, and I was chairman of INSEAD for 25 years, and I'm still involved some 57 years after we first conceived INSEAD. I'm just quoting that because it shows the importance of continuity in things. Doesn't mean that people have to stay 50 years, but it created a sense of continuity, which I think was very important for the development of INSEAD. INSEAD was conceived, as you know, as international, independent, private, and entrepreneurial. It was conceived like that, and it still is today. These 4 principles are still valid. It has always been entrepreneurial, and many of the things that we've been doing have been done with an entrepreneurial spirit. And particularly, since you are in Singapore, our Asian development was a result of the actions of a very few people, like Henri-Claude de Bétigny and a few others, who started to bring us to Asia some 30 years ago, 35 years ago even, and that has led to the creation of the Singapore campus where you are sitting today, some 13 or 14 years ago. This entrepreneurial spirit has been very important, and we hope that it will always stay like that. Independence is also a very important feature because we don't belong to a university, we are not really linked to anybody, and that has made decisions by the faculty, by the deans, and by the board, I don't say easy, but easier to make because we never had to ask for approval from anybody above us. And for instance, when we decided to open a campus in Singapore, the dean of the time, Antonio Borges, convinced the faculty. I, as chairman of the board, convinced the board, and together we made the decision to open it. And nobody had to give some kind of approval to the decision. We had to find the money and the means, but we didn't have to ask for approval, and it allowed us to develop much faster than we would otherwise. INSEAD, as you know, has invented concept, the one-year MBA. In the last issue of the Financial Times, there's a history of the MBA, and it is very clear that the one-year MBA and the MBA in Europe was invented by INSEAD. The multicultural structure of the school was also a feature that INSEAD invented. The customized executive education, the one school, two campuses concept, which is now one school, three campuses, which means that Singapore is not a subsidiary, but is really an inherent part of INSEAD. This concept has been somewhat copied by other schools, but we invented it and are still adhering it to very strongly to the concept. So I just want to say that INSEAD has been developed over these last 50 years with some principles in mind that were set up from the beginning, have been kept, and by inventing new things and reinventing itself all the time. Now you are becoming alumni, and I want to address you as alumni. Alumni are very important to the school, and are becoming more and more important year after year. Now, my two successors as board chairman have been or are alumni. The chairman of all committees of the board are alumni. The chairman of the Fondation INSEAD is an alumnus. Half or more than half of the members of the board and of the national councils are alumni. All of the 45 alumni association members obviously are alumni as well. Alumni, in fact, is the only constituency beyond the faculty, with the faculty, that exists at INSEAD. Without the faculty, there'd be no school. But the future of the school is very largely in the hands of the alumni, as I just mentioned. But very often, when calling on alumni, they feel that we are calling for their money. That's not what I'm meaning. I think your involvement, the involvement of alumni in the running of the school, in the various boards, councils, and so on, is very important. If alumni don't take care of the future of the school, nobody will. The faculty will, for their part, but the only constituency that can really ensure the longevity of INSEAD are the alumni. It's very important, and I stress that, because, again, without the alumni and the role of the alumni, there'd be no future for the school. So I hope that you, as new alumni, will take that and get involved in any way you wish in these various bodies that are formed with alumni, because it's very important. George Doriot, you always used to say a story about three men breaking stones on the road. They are being asked, what are you doing? One says, I break stones. The second one says, I earn my living. The third one says, I help build cathedrals. This is the spirit of INSEAD, and I hope that you all will help build cathedrals. My best wishes, first, congratulations for graduating today. My best wishes for great success in business, in private life. Thanks also to your wives, companions, husbands, and families. And best wishes also for the holiday season, and a Happy New Year to all of you. Now the Dean will remit the prize that wears my name, the Claude Janssen Prize, to the graduate that has had the best score for this program over his studies at INSEAD. I'm very pleased to have you get this prize. I congratulate you very warmly, and I wish you the greatest success in your career and in life in general. Thank you to all, and best wishes. Thank you.
And the winner of the Claude Janssen Prize is Jesper Drescher. Congratulations.
Thank you. The Dean says that we got plenty of time today, and no, you want to stay in here for long, so let's just say a few words. It's been a pleasure to go to INSEAD. It's been a pleasure to be on the journey for the last 18 months. But as I said to the Middle East class the other day, the value is in the future. The value is in the network of the people. Let's be honest. What we learned in the last 18 months, 16 months, probably 80% we already forgotten. It's in here. But the real value, the access fee that we all paid for being part of the program for the last 18 months is the network going forward. That's what makes INSEAD unique. That's where we're going to beat Harvard. The academics are excellent. The academics are excellent. The academics are excellent at INSEAD. No doubt about that. But what makes the school really unique is how they can facilitate 180 people, 55 nationalities getting together. It's cross-cultural, cross-countries, cross-gender. People are willing to help each other. One example is studying hard in the Middle East, people studying at night, being graded at a C-score, meaning the worse other people do, the better you do yourself. Still, people share their notes, help each other. That just shows doing business together is a win-win situation, and people will be very valuable from being part of this program. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Jesper, again on this award. You haven't gotten the degree yet, but do remember these 80% for a little while longer, please. Families, friends, guests, did I mention that the INSEAD GEMBA program is really intense and diverse? Jesper has mentioned it again, 55 nationalities. It is therefore a real big challenge also for our faculty to teach in such a very multicultural environment. Well, INSEAD does breed the best of the best, and it is thus a huge honor to be nominated for a teaching prize at INSEAD. To help give out the teaching awards, can I please ask Antonio and Charles to come forward and present the nominations and winners of the Best Teacher Awards. Please come forward.
Thank you, Urs. Good afternoon. Congratulations to us all. The core courses were such a core component of who we were. and what we will remember, that 20% that Jesper was alluding to. There are nominees that you'll see up in a moment for the award for the Outstanding Teacher of the Core Courses. So let's have a hand for each one of these people. Charlie Galunik, Ilian Mihov, Pascal Meinhout. Now I have to reveal to you who the winner is. If you can remember back, there was a blue character at our party in Fontainebleau. Pascal, can we please have you on stage?
Thank you very much. This is absolutely fantastic. I had a great time with you in the classroom, and it's extremely rewarding to hear that the same is true for you. So thanks to all of you who voted for me, despite that horrible finance exam. And those of you who didn't vote for me, thanks for not voting for anybody else instead, in a more coordinated fashion. I would also like to thank the deans, Ilian and Urs, for giving me the opportunity to teach GEMBA. The past year was not always easy for me at a personal level. And one of the highlights was definitely teaching such an amazing group of young, dynamic, energetic, bright, and very warm and kind people like you. Thank you. Thank you for brightening my days, and thank you for the wonderful time we had in class, but also sometimes outside of class. Go-kart racing in the Middle East, wearing a funny costume in Fontainebleau, dancing on a boat in Paris, running a relay race in Singapore just 10 days ago. Just some examples. It meant a lot to me. Now, I'll be brief because I know some of you are eager and impatient to find out whether you will actually get the degree. And I guess I'm supposed to give you some wise words for your future, but I find that quite challenging because I'm just a finance professor. And some of you are actually older than me. All of you are certainly wiser than me. So let me just say the following. When I meet colleagues from other business schools, they often ask me how it is to teach at INSEAD, how INSEAD is different, how executive MBA students at INSEAD are special. Because, of course, at other top schools, the participants are also very bright and hardworking. I think it's easy. What makes you special is that you have this urge to thoroughly enjoy yourselves while working hard. And I just hope you can continue to have this fun-loving attitude, this passion and enthusiasm later on in life. And I hope you end up doing something that you thoroughly enjoy, because it will ensure that you naturally excel at it. So now I would just like to ask you to go out and create value. As you hopefully remember from finance and maybe some of the other courses. Follow your heart. Be adventurous. Maybe do something different, something a little crazy perhaps. I've heard some of you are bringing popcorn to Europe. Unconventional oil exploration techniques to Colombia, state-of-the-art radiology services to Saudi Arabia, or was it selling bicycles in England and pineapple-based cocktails elsewhere in the world? It doesn't matter. I would just like to ask you to please go out and make this world a better place. And hopefully in the process, some of that value creation can go Very good. Excellent. Thank you again. Congratulations. I will miss you. Please come back. Thank you.
So now the nominees for the non-core courses are Neil Bearden, Karan Girotra, and Timothy Bovard. The winner is, actually the winner gave us some sort of a hard time over the past 3 days. Okay, no surprise, sorry. Mr. Timothy Bovard. He's not here today, but I think we have a quick video from Tim.
Hi, my name is Tim Bovard, and I teach Realizing Entrepreneurial Potential. I'm sorry I can't be there with you in person today, so please forgive me. I want to thank you for this teaching award. It really means a great deal to me. It's a wonderful honor. At INSEAD, I try to teach entrepreneurial acquisitions. So you don't have to become an entrepreneur by starting a business. You can also be an entrepreneur by going out, buying somebody else's business, and making it better. And that's what I think business is all about. It's about following your dreams and following your entrepreneurial challenges. Making those dreams come true is a wonderful way to achieve great personal satisfaction for yourself and for the people around you. As you're graduating today, you're going to be joining the INSEAD community. And it's a wonderful global community of people who you can reach out to, work with, will help you, and you can help them. So as you're graduating today, and I congratulate you greatly for this achievement, reach out, get involved, give back, and stay in touch with the community. It's really important. So I want to thank you once again for this award. I want to thank you for your support of the course, and congratulations for this wonderful day. Enjoy the moment. Congratulations. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, now obviously the most important part of the INSEAD experience is designed and executed by you yourself, and we're very happy to hear the valedictorian address from Rami Balau. Please come forward for your address.
All right, let's settle in. How's everyone doing? Some are a little hungover from last night. I can understand that. Some think they're still in costume. Apparently, Halloween once a year is not enough for a few of you in this room. Okay. From the moment I was asked in for an interview, before I was accepted into INSEAD, I knew something interesting was going to happen in my life. I said to myself, Rami, don't screw this up, man. Please, just don't screw it up. So I flew into Abu Dhabi sometime around February of 2014 and read a case study on a failing tree business in Norway and how I was supposed to solve this person's business and be his savior in a matter of 15 minutes. After getting through that part, I was asked to sit down and answer a series of questions, which I'm sure everyone in this room had to do themselves. And as an entrepreneur for the last 7 years, I wasn't used to being on the receiving end of such questions. They were fairly deep and fairly profound. So there I was, sitting down with two alumni. One was from the Netherlands, and the other one was from Italy. And I will stress that this person was from the southern part of Italy, and I will get to the reasons in just a short while. All I truly remember from that interview was my last and final question. And it goes something like this. Rami, the odds of you getting to this program is very, very slim. In fact, you probably won't get in. But if you did, what is the one thing you would want to get out of your INSEAD experience? In one sentence, please, because I was really nervous at the time, and I just found out a few days ago, as many of you did, that I am an extrovert, and System 3, System 4, and by definition, that means I lack structure and detail, if not well prepared. This is why I was at the library last night. How ironic. The last day of classes, and I find myself at the library at midnight. So, anyways, with all my heart, I replied that I would love, if possible, to be the dumbest person in the classroom. And it dawned on me that I said that, and I said, that's right. And I was trying to act confident. I said, that's right. If I was to be part of this program, I would like to be the dumbest person in the classroom. And the response was a killer. He answered, you're telling me that's your answer? That's it? I was like, this guy is definitely from the South. He put his fist on the table and looked at me as if I was a complete fool. And I really felt like a complete fool. I left the Abu Dhabi campus building and walked out into the heat, a lot of heat in Abu Dhabi, and I tried to make sense of it all. And I said to myself, better luck next time, Rami. So back to Lebanon it was, and it felt good to have at least tried. My wife was very supportive. She tried to make me feel so positive, which she does so well. She said to me, who cares, my love? I mean, you made it this far. I mean, they would be lucky to have you, just the normal type of support someone would expect from their spouse. But I knew looking into her eyes when she told me that, it wasn't that she was so sad that I may not get into the program. It was because she saw a change in me and a yearning for something more in my life. And I felt that she felt INSEAD was supposed to be some sort of a defining moment in my life for some reason. And it was. And I think that was scary for her, as scary as it was for me. Like many of you, before applying to this program, I felt very vulnerable in life. I don't know what else to call it, really. I was in despair, and I had this silence buried inside of me for a few years. And I felt INSEAD was going to be the Wizard of Oz with all the answers to my questions. I had to do it. I heard something, I think. I'm not sure, but okay. All right, great. I think that was a sign of support. Okay. So here I am, and how ironic it is. And on countless occasions, I truly felt I was the dumbest person in the room amongst you all, but I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I've been distant the last few days, for some of you that know me quite well, and that is because I wanted to make this the very most best, special, valedictorian speech that I could say from my heart. But before you hear some more of Rami, let's give thanks to some incredible people who made this all happen, and to this institution that has graced us into our lives for the last year, a little over a year. So for those in the back, for those guests with us today that have come halfway across the globe, others that have traveled full circle to see your son, daughter, mother, father, husband, wife, sister, brother, or friend, welcome. Welcome to one of the key campuses where it all began, where it continued, and where it will become, where it will come to an inevitable close this afternoon in the great country of Singapore. Today, it is to you we give our most thanks. Thank you. This may be cliche, and it's said many times, but it truly, truly comes from the heart to all of the guests in the room. If it were not for your love and support and encouragement, we simply couldn't have made it, quite frankly. I hope we will always make you as proud as you are today. Oh, and by the way, if your loved one from GEMBA gave you a call a few days ago and said they were receiving a Heroes Club welcome on a street that is somewhat circular, well, they weren't kidding. Some of our heroes here turned out to be great at firefighting, specifically fourth-floor buildings. And they even like to break down brick walls. I mean, imagine these international walls made out of bricks. How wonderful. But we may have partied a lot, but we always found our ways back to you. So thank you again for being here with us today. For those not here with us today, because life just happened, and life is full of all these unexpected surprises. You know who you are. I hope you're streaming this and watching this now. You know who you are, so know that we miss you. I couldn't think of anything else to tell you but something from Rocky Balboa, Rocky number 6. Rocky was one of my childhood heroes. And this message is to you. When he says, you, me, and nobody is going to hit how hard as life is. But it ain't how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit. And keep moving forward. It ain't how hard you can hit, but how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. So keep moving forward, and hopefully we will reunite with you soon. Now for the heroes at INSEAD. Ilian Melhov, our dean. I think it's very safe to say that your vision for INSEAD's future is quite remarkable and admirable. I hope you continue forward. Urs, you are a Class A gentleman, and I truly respect you and honor you for being such a great support throughout this whole entire program. Thank you for your genuineness and humbleness. And I wanted to thank someone different this year, and I hope I can remind you all of who he is, but that is to Peter Zemsky. Peter Zemsky, as you know, I'm going to try to imitate him a little bit, but he usually was responsible for introducing INSEAD's vision for the future. And he had these, passionate exchanges about how INSEAD was going to move on into the future. And most notable and most spoken this year was INSEAD's partnership with Microsoft to create online learning. And as he said that so many times, which is fabulous, I thought to myself, I said, oh God, I really feel bad, but I completely understand. And I said to myself, Rami, what do you feel bad about? And I said, well, he hasn't asked anyone from GEMBA to participate as potential actors in the class. I mean, we're all good looking, we're charmers, we're executives. We could fit very, very nicely in that classroom and be participants, and that could be used for the future, and we could say how great it was to be part of such, a feat. But then I said, oh gosh, I know what Peter's thinking. I think Peter's thinking, a class of over 180 students, 55 nationalities, that would be a little too international for marketing purposes. And I was visualizing as he was speaking, pretty much why. I started imagining how people would be arguing with the professor in class over the NPV and willingness to pay. And then I started getting into it even more deeper. And I imagine a French person from Paris saying, well, I cannot see that anyone will ever pay for something like this, And I imagine, an Arab from the Middle East saying, well, hey, Habibi, listen to me, okay? I know. And then the French person would come back again, like, well, how do you know it's so? And the Arab would say, because I know. I know, okay? And then in would jump a Colombian and say, hey, hermanos, why are you arguing about something so stupid and so silly? Let's go out and have some sangria. I love it. So, Peter, this is for you, and we understand, and no offense taken. Now to our program coordinators and career counseling coaches. Kristen, Marie, thank you very much. Thank you for being such a great support. Kristen, I hope life treats you fairly and you become successful in your new role. To the program coordinators, Samia, Marion, and Gael. And our most recent bride, where is she? Our darling Safisa. You guys are hands down awesome. Hands down awesome. Thank you for putting up with our tardiness, our lateness, our WhatsApp messages, our frantic emails of desperation, and consoling us during many breakdowns of fear and insecurity. and quite frankly, some of our insincerities when we thought our papers were due in the local time of our country. What's going on? Fontainebleau time. Come, I'm in New York. Or some of the ones that I've heard was, I was a victim of a cyber attack. I don't know what happened. I can't do. Sorry, call my secretary. So thank you so much for all your hard work. I mean, I don't think we ever would have done it without you. So one more round of hands of applause for that. To our class representatives who were thanked yesterday but deserve another huge round of applause for bringing us together throughout this year. Thank you so much to everyone who's representing us. You know who you are. Thank you so much. It's just so beautiful how you brought us together, and it's just so beautiful that we are here together as well. I'd like to thank our world-class professors. Pascal, one more time, congratulations. Congratulations to everyone who actually had a chance to teach in this program. You did an incredible job putting up with us. You put up with world-class business people that go down in the history book of some of maybe the most aggressive and profound personalities of the year. You saw the very best in us, and you also saw the very worst in us at times, unfortunately. I kind of feel bad for the non-core course professors, because while we were in July in Fontainebleau, hanging out at a Mykonos most nights, I felt that they may have seen much of our worst. But, I mean, we'd also like to say thank you to them. I really want to say that we respect you so much for this type of career that you chose, regardless whether you have that question sometimes that pops in your mind when life happens. But thank you for choosing to be in academia and to give back to us, and hope we make you proud as we move forward. I know as a teacher, it's just so nice to say that was my student. I think that makes you so proud. Personally, I'd like to thank my precious wife, who went through a roller coaster of madness this year. She kept some sanity with all my insanity, and to her, I am forever grateful. So now, it gets serious and important. I've been looking for so many answers, and I think I found a fix and somewhat of a secret that I'd like to share with you today that I came across through this year of being with you. So listen up to your unexpected last non-core course of some type of advice from your American Lebanese brother and long-time friend. You see, this year I reconnected with someone who's always been there day in and day out. They're not on the class roster, they're not in this room, and no, it's not God, it's not Ram, Krishna, Buddha, or even Aristotle. I'm talking about our friend Chance. Chance was always there, but was ignored for some reason. Chance wasn't invited to stakeholder meetings, to performance reviews, to bar mitzvahs, to Eid, to many of our 10-year anniversary celebrations, even our 1-year daughter walking for her first time celebration. We ignored Chance, I ignored Chance, for so long because we were afraid what the friendship might bring into our lives. We were afraid of our true potential and what it would mean if we acted on it. Yet Chance was always there. But this year, Chance came into our lives with vigor and with power and with so much certainty, telling some of us to move on, to change careers, to start the entrepreneurial path. And when our fellow classmates, LDP peers and career coaches validated what we had felt for so long, Chance came in and gave us the courage to make a new leap in life. Chance said, "You've got another shot at life, and you can take it. And if it doesn't work out, you've got over $100,000 worth prestigious academic degree from one of the finest institutions in the world. However, the $25K you spent on alcohol, well, that's just a sunk cost, and you're just going to have to live with it." Okay? For some, it's a lot more. But really, this is what our friend Chance brought to the table. But I still needed something more, and I still felt that you needed something more. So this year, Chance asked me to meet must. M-U-S-T. Must. Chance said, Rami, meet your must. And today, I challenge you to meet your must. Before INSEAD, many of us were surrounded by the could've, would've, should've, almost, and if only type of environment. Today, I'm asking you to meet your must. You must remember this moment. You must be present in what you do. You must love what you do. You must. It's a must that will sustain us as we part ways today. It's a must that will challenge us when there are no class left for us to take. Should be a good thing for some. It's a must that will give us the wake-up call in the morning and push us to give all we can and all we can be. And it's a must that will set the standards going forward. And it's must that will bring us back together. Must will provide us the very best of sacrifices. The sacrifice of changing who we are now to the people we really, truly want to be. Isn't that beautiful? This was my realization. Don't you see, my friends? Where focus goes, energy flows. What do we say to ourselves when we look in the mirror? Who we surround ourselves with? What we choose to do with our precious time and with our lives? This is what matters. So I say, if you want to truly be exceptional, if you want to stand out amongst the competitive landscape of the world, if you want to be your best self, ask yourself, what is your must going forward? What standards will you set for yourselves? So here we are. And here it is. And here is now the moment that has kept me awake these sleepless nights, wondering what I could possibly say to you that would truly be exceptional and deserving in the 10 minutes that I've clearly gone over. Didn't work out with that communications class. You know, sometimes people can't change. But focus on your strengths. Don't focus on the weakness. Yet I must share with you one of my favorite quotes that was written on the third floor. Some of you shared it on Facebook during our YFCD. And this is from T.E. Lawrence of Arabia. And it says, all men dream, but not equally. Those that dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake in the day to find that it was in vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dreams with open eyes to make it possible. That was very profound for me. That was something that I truly wanted to share with you. And as I come to a close, I would like to say that 15 months ago, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less, most of us did not know each other sitting in this room. Most of us did not know the person sitting next to you. Most of us were strangers. When we thought we were going to come into this program, it was a dream come true for many of us to actually get in. And we are so lucky that that dream turned into reality. I am so lucky. I am so lucky that my dream turned into reality. So my fellow Gembas, congratulations. This is one dream that has truly become a phenomenal reality for us all. We have been validated, vindicated, and vested throughout this year. But today, we are victorious. Give yourselves a well-deserved round of applause, graduating class of 2015, and remember to meet your must and be faithful to your dreams. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, can I please call up Samia and the team to start with the proceedings of the awards, the diplomas, the EMBA diplomas. We're handing them out in alphabetical order, and it is about 180 of them. So it will take about an hour, just for those of you at home as well, and for those sitting here. to know, but I think it's important that we recognize each and every one of you, and each and every one of you gets the chance to show and share the moment with your loved ones here or around the world, and share that moment of accomplishment and pride. So let's get up, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. Celine Abbas. Richard Aboud. Hisham Abul Ula with distinction. Vanessa Adams. محمد الهنائي. Karina Alexeva. Ibrahim Aliyu. Michelle Alerts with distinction. Muhammad Al-Uthman. Sumit Anand. Paris Arnold with distinction. Maher Ayad. Patrick Bachet. Rami Balut. Laure Bartajin with distinction. Sandra Barriès. Subhash Bhatia. Hristo Borisov. Matthew Boucher. Leila Bushkara. Robin Brown. Nicola Brown. Alberto Boniato. Olivier Capel. Peter Choroba. Toby Clements. Shane Caldwell. Eleanor Dachicourt. Yulia Danielian. Alexander Diaz with distinction. Florian Disigi. Antonio De Lorenzo. Thibault Delorme. Johan de Vries. Jin Pian Diao. William Dew. Jesper Drescher with distinction. Tom Duncan. Demi Edusormoine with distinction. Jérôme Ancrevet. Jorge Escobar. John Felletti. Jared Ford. Jinesh Gosar. Yamin Groninger with distinction. Olivier Grometto. Damian Grussel. Francois Guignon with distinction. Andrzej Gumze. Bobby Gurbani. Yunus Hafane with distinction. Mariam Hajiji. Huda Hajani. Rasha Hamdan. Ahmed Hilal. Helen Hirschfeld with distinction. Robert Hobson. Morten Hostrup. David Hines. Rizwan Iftikhar. Zoltan Yields. Karim Irani. Imad Itani. Farah Jamal. Alexander Jen. Lucas Jiang. Ravi Jitani. Rami Kadura. Ajay Kirthi. Charlie Kime. Ekaterina Kiseleva. Carl Eric Kodu with distinction. Dhruv Kotak. Meghna Krishna. Anu Kulatunga. Elom Lasse. Congratulations. Bobby Leo. Joseph Leo. Cheong Lim. Sophie Liu. Hugo Lopez Pinto. Yi Lo. Gergana Manova. Faye Matriano. Ali Mazandarani with distinction. Gautam Mehra. Gael Meti. Murad Miludi. Oleg Mishchenko. Kim Moulet. Nick Molchanov. Eric Munen. Alexa Morcom. Ken Morimoto. Marwan Mukarzel. Muin Mufti. Cecile Mundusigui with distinction. Yoshito Murkami with distinction. Orkhan Mustafayev. Naoko Nagao. Michael Nguyen. Clement Nouvel. Andre Odermatt. Nadej Orlova. Tosin Oshunkoya. Pascal Ouvre. Enti Palucci. Shrikant Patel. Ricardo Pereira Nunes. Svetan Petrinin. Sorry about that. Pauline Plisson. Chad Quisenbury with distinction. Nimir Rahal. Raghunathan Ramakrishnan. Kerry Randall. Alvaro Luis Ranero Cilias. Musa Rawat. Zakir Rizvi. Aris Rumbus. Emma Russell with distinction. Denise Sarman. Constance Sabah. Duresh Salian. Vikram Sarkar. Scott Savage. Dinesh Schefter. Ralph Chupin. Andrea Semenetz. Rashri Shankar. Sunil Shenoy. Nicole Sia. Lionel Sinai Silenkio. Olesia Skofenko. Sean Smart. Frederic Soblik. Mad Sorensen. Yemi Sonei. Selena Steele. Mykola Streltsov. Ralia Sunmonu. Naji Siriani. Mei Takeuchi. Ek Seng Tan. Evan Tapping. Hussein Tariq. Shamoil Tayyabji. Alexander Tizovets. Carol Terry. Alexandros Timotheo. Kate Tiu. Joshua To. Jay Tomar. Edith Zhang. Raluca Turchina. Stefan van Doesburg. Liven Van O. Joshua Vieira. Charles Villegran. Philippe Vilspol with distinction. Valentina Vlad. Ekaterina Volkova. Misha Veselvitsky. Eugene Wee with distinction. Robert Weber. Fabien Zhu. Dora Yu. Hisato Yuto. Jie Zhang. Last but not the least, Alex Zubankic.
I do. So I hope your time at INSEAD has stretched your conception of how much you can get done in 14 to 18 months. And I hope, too, that it has given you a view of how the world could be if everyone were tolerant of diversity and curious about perspectives of those with different backgrounds. I invite you to keep the spirit of your INSEAD journey alive in yourself. I invite you to stay connected with your classmates in the years to come, and I invite you to stay connected with the school, for it is now your school. By the power vested in me, by the INSEAD faculty and board, I congratulate you on your successful completion of this unique Global Executive MBA degree and declare the GEMBA 15 class officially graduated. Woohoo! Bravo! No photo? The graduates should come on stage, please, for a photo, and the families can either also take a picture or slowly move outside. And we'll obviously invite everyone back for a cocktail on campus. Looking forward to seeing everyone there again.